2 out of the last 3 RNC chairmen, Republican National Committee chairmen, have apologized for the Southern strategy. 2 out of the last 3. And what is the Southern strategy? The Southern strategy was implemented by the Republicans. Let me just go back. After the Civil War, all the people in the South left the Republican Party because Lincoln was a Republican, and they joined the Democrats. So it was the Southern Democrats were racists, right? Then the Civil Rights Act happened with President Lyndon Johnson, and he famously said, I'm going to write off the South when I pass this, meaning that all the racists in the South are going to switch from Democrat to Republican, which is what happened. So that's when all the racists went to the Republican Party, and they implemented a thing in the Nixon administration called the Southern Strategy. What's the Southern Strategy? The Southern Strategy is you use race baiting to get scared whites to vote for you. You get them afraid of the darky, the other, and you associate darky with the Democrats, and all the people, all the whiteys who are susceptible to demagogues who do that kind of thing and dog whistle. What do? They go to the Republican Party. So that's what happened, right? So we know that's the history, and they've been doing the Southern strategy ever since Nixon. And we remember Willie Horton. Famous. Mm-hmm. Those are famous things, but it happens every day. And so that's why 2 of the last 3 Republican National Committee chairmen have apologized for it, saying we're not racists anymore, we're sorry, and then Donald Trump comes along. And the majority of their party votes for him. And all their elected leaders are getting behind him. Boop. I guess those apologies for the Southern strategy were worth nothing. I guess they didn't mean anything because they didn't. So Donald Trump has recently shifted from racism to anti-Semitism. He's getting everybody. Literally, it's unbelievable, right?
Well, to appeal to racists.
So they have a panel on MSNBC, Hardball with Chris Matthews, but there's a guest host. And they're asking Donald Trump, they're asking Michael Steele, who was the RNC chairman, and an African-American, what he thinks about Trump's racism. And the answer just may surprise you. Or will it? Because it appears that Michael Steele has lots of expertise with rationalizing Republican racism. And get ready for some more. Here we go.
We had neo-Nazi groups, what they call the alt-right groups, saying, no, yeah, we own it. We think that Donald Trump is dog whistling at us.
Huh.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I'm sure they think that. I agree with Steve. I don't think that this is something deliberate on the campaign, and certainly on Donald Trump's part to.
No, these are all accidental racisms. What he meant to say was that the Mexicans rate well, not rape well. That's what he was saying. These are all accidents. He doesn't mean, when they tweeted out the Star of David over money and tried to slander Hillary, that he didn't mean that. He meant he likes Jews. Boy, Michael Steele. Ho, ho. Anyway, it's just, hey, in other news, this year's Republican African American Outreach Convention has been canceled. So, Michael Steele, here we go.
Really play to that. I think what he sees is, look, he's taking every means and measure available to get voters to the polls.
So he just said 2 exactly contradictory things. He just said, I don't think Trump's really doing that, but hey, he's going to do anything he can to get the people to the polls.
Trump was just saying we have to stop Mexican rapists coming over to the border from taking all the jobs away from white rapists.
Rapists?
Yeah.
But Michael Steele just said 2 completely different things. He said, I don't really think Trump's doing that, but we all know he's going to do anything he can.
Yeah, he's just trying to get them out to vote.
He's just trying to get the racists out to vote.
I mean, you can't blame the guy for using a Star of David.
The sheriff's star. Sorry.
His dog whistles are so loud, even the fleas hear it.
Wait a minute.
Well, it's an easy mistake to make. I mean, sometimes I put something on Twitter and then a bunch of white supremacists send me money and vote for me. It just happens.
It's a goof.
Yeah. Oops.
It's weird because, on one second he says, I don't think this is deliberate on Trump's part to play that. And then the next he's saying he's taking any means to get voters to the poll. I mean, that's literally contradictory. He's doing what Trump does. He's contradicting himself in the same sentence. And it's about defending Donald Trump. So I guess it's very fitting. So let's go on. There's a little bit more. Let's listen.
At the end of the day, my sense is that's the driver here. And he doesn't care ultimately where you're standing right now. In November, he just needs you at a ballot box. And so this is part of that effort. It is a dog whistle in that regard. I don't think it's playing the racist elements per se.
What elements would he be playing to? Well, I don't think it's racist per se, but just people who like racism. I'm not racist, but I like it. Talking about what is the mental gymnast? That's a black guy. I don't know. I think someone needs to tell Michael Steele that all his friends are racists. I don't think you realize. I know you're the black guy. That must pay well. Being the black guy in the Republican Party, that must pay well. Wow.
That's the Goldwater ploy. I'm not a racist, but I will take racist support.
Yeah, I'll take their money. I'll take their votes.
Unfortunately, what it does, though, is it does elevate them into a national conversation with our nominee and our party, and for that, we are all experiencing a great deal of angina. Yeah.
My party's racist. What are you going to do? Experiencing angina, which is coincidentally the name of Toni Morrison's new novel. Experiencing angina.
She had a cute angina.
She had a very attractive angina. So there you go. Fantastic. So that's what, and so people who should be calling this out, especially African Americans, should be saying, hey, you know what? There's no place for this in our country. And this is, so you got to stand up, because that's what happened in Germany. You know, that famous saying, when they came for the trade unionists, I wasn't a trade union, I didn't say. When they came for the Jews, I didn't say anything because I wasn't a Jew. When they came for me, there was nobody left.
Michael Steele.
So there's Michael Steele. Oh, I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Jew. I'm not a Mexican. It's okay. It's okay, really.
He lives in that bubble soundbite factory where he just wants to sound astute. He wants to fit in at the cocktail party. He wants to look good on TV. And that's his entire MO.
I was on a panel with him at this year's Politicon. Michael Steele. What an affable guy. I'm telling you, that's what his whole life is, being likable. His whole life is being likable by the people who hate him. Hey, it's all right. You're white. You're rich. I want to be your friend. You think I'm kidding? He's a fucking Republican.